Welcome to the Teaching Bites podcast. Here are your hosts, Fred and Sharon Jaravada.
Bum ba da bum bum.
Bum bum.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the Teaching Bites show, where we connect you with people and ideas to take your teaching to the next level. She's Sharon,
And he's Fred.
and we are back. So this is episode 90. Right, Sharon? 90.
Yeah, and
Okay.
today I was searching around on, I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Quora?
Quora.
Quora.
Mm-hmm.
It's,
quorum. It's a Latin for please ask questions, I guess.
Okay, yeah, and it's a great site you told me about. And you could search for any subject area, and you could comment and things like that.
And a lot of people who answer these questions on Quora, think about it, it's the opposite of Yahoo Answers. You know, Yahoo Answers, there's questions people ask. Anyone can answer this. The Quora people are usually the experts, usually are the professors, usually the business owners, usually you have people really in the field of expertise. They are actually answering it. So if you have a question on online marketing, you'll have people like James Altucher. He'll answer it. James Altucher. If you or Gary Vaynerchuk. If you have a question about quantum physics, you'll have people like Bill Nye, the science guy, will answer it. Okay, so these are legitimate answers that they get. At least quite a few of them are. But you can join. I join, but I don't really ask questions because I don't want to feel stupid. Sound stupid, which I do all the time. Because all these people are answering the questions, and they do some amazing detailed things. Like they were talking about the recent election, and they're breaking it down. Why did Hillary lose, and why the possibilities of why Trump won, and they really break it down. I mean, you're going through pages and pages. They have stats. They really cite things.
Well, that's their thing.
They're generating like thesis, whatever. They're doing tons of research, and they're sharing that, which is amazing. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of stuff that are just kind of stupid. Like they're asking what's the best place to pick up girls in San Francisco. That's just a stupid question. But it can go, quantum physics, SpaceX, all that stuff. Quora, Quora.com.
Yeah, and I was looking there, and this question came up, and I thought it was really awesome. And I'll link this because you'll see the responses. But the question is, Fred, what do you think? What is the most difficult, great lesson to teach? What is the most difficult, great lesson to teach?
Great lesson. Okay, so we got to figure out.
So what's that mean? Great lesson.
What is a great lesson? So obvious for me. Okay, so this is my opinion. Well, I think the great lesson has to be relevant. It has to be relevant, and it has to identify a real world problem, right? I'm not going to talk about like poverty or inequality. Those are huge problems. Don't get me wrong, and there are great lessons about that. But I haven't had a chance to talk about that or have taught that.
Yeah. So we're speaking from experience.
I'm speaking from my experience. Okay. So I think recently, one of my students, my 6th grade class, and their job was to create a research keynote project, a presentation with the religion class. And in their religion class, they are tasked to research a saint. So they have to find facts about their saints. So it's all about research and putting in a keynote so that they have their notes. So it then goes into a scratch project, which I just talked about last episode.
Yep.
So one of the difficult things that I've seen the kids doing, or the things that they're doing that gets me, and I see it's difficult, it's that they're copying and pasting information blindly. So I had to stop it there. And I had to talk about the recent election, the United States presidential election. We there are many theories on what happened. There are many theories of things. Why did President-elect Trump win, and why did Hillary lose? They're saying from conspiracy theories to voter fraud to Facebook influencing the election, or their algorithm is showing things to people, to a particular person, and they're only getting the things that they like. So it's like an echo chamber, right? Mm-hmm. But I think it's also parting. I'm trying to get to the the research part. That the adults are sharing on Facebook and social media in general. They're sharing fake news, right? They're sharing fake stuff. They're not even reading it. They're just reading the headlines. They see the headlines on Facebook or on their feed, and immediately they'll share it immediately, and all their followers will see
Whether
it.
it's true or not.
Whether it's true or not. And the adults are doing this, not the kids. And I think it's difficult when I tell the kids, you must research this stuff, even if you're sane. Because as you get older, you're going to need to learn how to research and critically think what is right or wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I would assume those students' parents didn't get these digital citizenship lessons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, for us, at least our generation, we are digital natives, but it's still. Oh no, we're not.
No, we're not digital
No,
natives.
but still, we were an adult when the internet came out, so we're just as new to us.
But we also, but I think, I mean, again, like my mom, God bless my mom, she is 75. Okay, she joined Facebook about a year ago. She's on that all the time. However, she's sharing things that I would never share. She's liking things. She joined all these things. And then she shares it with us, and it just fills up my face. It's just crazy. My brother had to go in and had to fix her feed, and she had to he had to unlike all of this stuff, because my mom fell into that hole of clicking things, the clickbait. What do people say? The clickbait, where people click things because they read the headlines and boom, they got you, and you just go in this hole. Hillary. You would never, the headline would say, you would never believe what Hillary just did. I mean.
Too good to be true.
Right. Or in the other side, you would never believe what Donald Trump did. And then people just click on it and they just share without reading the whole thing. Or it goes to a fake blog, a fake news blog, and it's all written out, and, it's just so biased, right? So I'm battling that with my students. I think for me, that's the most difficult lesson to teach, because I'm saying you have to do this. The teachers are saying you have to do this. The librarians are saying you have to do this. But it's so easy to share fake news, and people do that all the time. We're fighting against social media. We're fighting against that constant 24-hour news cycle.
Yeah.
When we grew up, I mean, news ended at 11:30. And it was the Johnny Carson show, that was it. Arsenio Hall show, that was it. And then now you could put on CNN, Fox News.
24/7.
All that's 24/7. It's all sound bites also. There are some news sites that they just say breaking news all the time. It's all breaking news. Everything's breaking news.
Right. So
it gets to us, right? Especially on a phone or an iPad or whatever. It's so small, such a small screen that the marketers are fighting for their attention there from scrolling.
Yeah, and I think also, like, going back to what you said about breaking news, it's so blown up, and but we're so used to it, and I guess we can call us brainwashed.
Well, that's the thing.
We're so used to it that breaking news is like, oh, it rained today. Oh, flash flood. Like, it's really not that bad. Or they just, media will hype up.
It's so hyped up.
Or make things a jillion times more exaggerated.
It was so shocking. Come on. We all know this in the election. Hillary Clinton was supposed to win.
Right.
All the polls. And I never get polled in my life. I've not gotten polled.
Me neither.
So I've always distrusted polls. Like, how can they never call me? Now, I probably because I live in San Francisco, in California, a really, really blue state. So maybe that's why they don't call
We're in a
me.
bubble, so
You know,
they know already.
well, I'm an independent voter, okay, but it just boggles my mind how things get so like, okay, I had a feeling, Donald Trump would win. I had a feeling. So, and Hillary, all these things, oh, she's going to win by 300 electoral votes. Like, how do you guys know? This is all guessing.
right.
So all these stats guys, all these people, polling guys, they're all going back to the drawing board. They said they did mess up. Obviously they did. So I'm battling that, all these biasness on either side, just happening on each, news outlet. And you just got to get cut through all that, but it's so hard.
It is hard because sometimes it's too good to be true, and you kind of know, but sometimes it's so good that you think it's true. So I mean, even teaching our boys, our two boys, they're younger than those kids. You have to be really mindful.
Well, that goes also not to speak into an echo chamber. I try my news feed. I have cousins. I have friends who are really, the opposite of my beliefs. But and I have a choice. I can block them. I can hide them. But even though, don't get me wrong, I felt like it. I really wanted to block and unfollow them. But I try to make a mental point to let them do what they want to do. So it kind of balances it out. It's like me. I kind of balance. I watch Fox News and I also watch CNN. But I also go to other sites, BBC. I try to do that. But that's me. How do I get through to my students with that? That's the hard part.
True.
How do I do that? I try to connect with the kids in their world. Video games, pop culture, and so on. I always try to present 2 points or 2 or 3 points perspective, right? Because as teachers, we're supposed to be unbiased.
Right.
Right?
It's hard.
Yeah, I mean, I hear my kids talk about the election before it happened, and they asked me who I was going to vote for. I'm like, I don't know yet. Even though I did know, but I didn't want to skew it. I didn't want to share it.
Yeah, actually, those of you listeners know that in my 4th grade math enrichment group, we had an election prediction project, right? And they actually presented today. They made their Google slides over the Thanksgiving holiday.
This is the 4th grade, right?
Yeah, the 4th graders. And I really didn't do anything really. I just guided them, and it was awesome. And they wrote the
You
script.
see them once a week. That's a thing.
Yeah, and I just said, I want you guys to answer these questions. Like what was the problem? How'd you find the data? All that. What were successes and failures for your project? And they divide up the work.
How did they find the data? Where did you?
Oh, so if you've read the blog, we used a Google form to survey the students at our school.
Got it. Yeah.
4th to 7th grade boys and girls. You give me an idea because we're about to do paper and pencil, and that was just going to take too long.
And you want a wider community. So you work in the girls' school, but we also wanted to get the boys' school and all the older grades too.
Right. So that was a whole project in itself, and the whole time they didn't ask me who I was going to vote for, which is great.
Good.
But of course, they're leaning Hillary.
We live in San
especially
Francisco.
girls. They were like, "Oh, we could have a female president."
Right.
So of course, but they predicted wrong.
You're pretty wrong. So when you see them tomorrow, you're gonna have to reflect on that.
That's what we're gonna do. Yeah.
Cool.
And
very good.
So that was an awesome project.
Okay, so that's my thing. Again, that's me. But again, there's bigger problems out there that we can talk about. But I just don't have that much experience with it.
Yeah. So when I read this question, what is the most difficult great lesson to teach? I didn't look at the answers at all because I wanted to know in my head, and I knew already it wasn't going to be like it's going to be my flashy science lesson or my awesome reading lesson. Not those kind of core curriculum. I kind of knew it'd be something more gray and really intangible. So I figured it has to be something to do with character or the heart, right? So I thought, okay, it might be empathy, or it could be how to treat others respectfully. Those kind of things are hard.
That's really hard to teach empathy.
All those kind of things, being grateful for things. And I think the best way that I've done it is, of course, there's 2 ways, right? You could do a whole isolated lesson about it.
Which grade level?
when I taught third grade,
Okay.
Or any grade. Or
yeah,
you
yeah,
could,
yeah. I taught 7th, 8th graders. It's hard to teach them empathy. The girls, especially, it's hard for me. It was hard
when they're more mature, they're more
when they reach their 30s, maybe.
set.
When they reach their
Right.
30s, that's the thing. They're gonna reach their
Yeah.
30s.
I mean, third graders are empathetic, but it's still, they're
They're still sweet kids.
sweet, but they're like, I'm faithful to my friends and
yeah.
blah blah blah. But I felt the best way was to teach in the moment about it. When something happens, then we make that a teachable moment, whether it's to the individual or the group.
Now, how do you do that? Since you are basically teaching on the fly, those teachable moments. I know we had an episode way back
Yes, we
on
did.
that. But teaching on the fly, how do you do that? How do you stop the lesson and go and switch gears?
Well, it depends. Okay. It depends how many, if there's a problem, right? I guess you're saying a problem with like a argument with kids or something. That has to be handled themselves first. And if I notice there's a pattern that's coming up, I'll stop if I have to at that moment, or I could save it for like the end of the day or something. It depends on the severity of it. It depends on who's the audience. Do I just need to talk to this group of kids because the rest of the class is kind of all right with this, or is this a bigger audience? Do I need more of my class involved? So it depends on what it is.
Yeah.
But it is hard. It is hard to teach gratitude, empathy. It's being in another person's shoes.
And make it meaningful.
Yeah, and I try to find little moments and like highlight that. Point it out. Like, look at this person. Look at what he or she just did for that wow, awesome. You didn't have to do that for them, but you went out of your way to help them out. I mean, those are great.
The recognition
right?
of that, yeah, exactly.
And not just for Thanksgiving time. It's not just
It should be all
seasonal.
year, every day.
Every day, every moment you can. Of course, we're really tight with time. We've got to get to the curriculum and all, but it's so important. Character development, character education.
Life skill.
I put a lot of emphasis on that in my classroom from day one and all the way to the end.
It's
Can't let it go. It is, but you'd see your class turn around.
Yeah, that's you feel
it's
better.
Amazing,
that year, yeah.
especially if you teach for your third grade teachers out there. They come to you as, to me, they're like little babies in second grade. But that's my context. But when they in the first quarter is over in third grade, they're just totally different kids. Because of all the work you put in, and all the effort, all the setup.
It's a good one.
The
It's
tone
a
you
good-
set.
Right.
I could go on about that forever too.
We don't have enough time
But-
to do that.
I love this stuff. It's awesome.
Well, it could be a future episode or break it up in a couple episodes.
Yeah.
But that's cool. I think, and I agree with you. That's hard also for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, kids, I'll go one more thing. Kids, they're so into themselves, right? Like me.
Oh, I have my 7th, 8th grade girls.
So
I don't
it's-
teach high school, but
It's hard. But I can see why it's harder in 7th grade than 3rd.
oh man,
Third,
you're
they're still
bad.
impressionable.
Yeah,
and
7th grade, 8th, they're starting to wear
They're
makeup.
sweet.
They're starting to listen to these music. They're starting, like these inappropriate movies. Like, oh boy, here it comes. They're 13.
Yeah.
Oh man, crazy peer pressure. Oh, I don't think they're battling through.
Well, that we'll have to wait till our kids get there.
You
Then
middle school and high school teachers, you guys are amazing.
we'll give you props.
It's you guys and also
No.
the daycare preschool, the early childhood
Educators.
You guys do amazing.
Natalie, Esther.
All right, folks. If you have any thoughts about this, let us know. Okay, let us know in the comments of iTunes, and you can always email us at fred@teachingbytes.com,
And email me at sharon@teachingbytes.com.
and we'll get back to you as fast as we can.
All right, teachers, get out there and teach that great lesson.
Peace.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Teaching Bites podcast at www.teachingbytes.com.